Greetings once again, my friends, and welcome to Interesting Ideas. My name is Stan Houston, and I come to you almost every weekday, business day, and what I try to do is just, can I help these people in 15 minutes, maybe a little bit more, a little bit less? Can I help them at least have something to think about that will spark their creativity just a bit? And perhaps that spark will actually help them be far more effective, maybe even a little bit on fire for the work they do. Because in the world we live in right now, your creativity and your ideas and your courage and your consistency will be the difference between those who in this inflationary recession may actually thrive, not just survive. And you got the title right. Yes, please don't leave. Watch the credits. Please don't leave. Watch the credits. And you're right. Don't be a karaoke singer. Some interesting ideas. The program begins right now. And thank you very much. As I said, I'm grateful that you take time. As I sometimes point out, you're going to take 15 minutes. Maybe you'll be doing something else, which is one of the great wonders of radio, that you can listen to the radio and still be doing something else. Hopefully, that's all you'll be doing. You won't be texting or watching a video. You'll be paying attention, just using that wonderful thing called sound to spark your imagination, but still allows you to keep your eye on the road. Keep driving on. Great thing. But yes, I would like to talk about the subject of what it takes to be calm, what it takes to be classy, and what might be a person of class. Now, we talked about that yesterday, and I simply said I would like, in this world where we need a little more civilized behavior, let's think about what goes into that person really has class. What does it mean to have class, to be classy? And there are all kinds of speculations about that. And I pointed out that just because somebody has a lot of money and dresses well and has a beautiful house and a beautiful car and all of those things, that may be a mark of real class. But again, maybe that's not your definition of class. And I think it's important for all of us to think about that. What does it mean to be world class? That's a world-class company. Now, guess what? Most world-class companies are not world companies. That's right. It's hard to be world-class and be worldwide. And most world-class companies decide that they are going to take a particular part of the world and a particular part of the marketplace, and they're going to be world-class in their place in space. And being worldwide is not necessarily a mark of a world class. We can talk about that, but again, just let that sit on your head for a while. Now, in our area, and I'm talking about the cable company in North Carolina where I'm presently poised and platformed, there's an ad for a certain service, and what it says that, hey, once you're watching one of the episode, presentations, hey, you can skip the credits. The credits. After a film or a movie, when the movie comes to an end, there's that lengthy list of credits, and you see all of the names of all of the people who had something to do with the production. And, of course, when that happens, most people in the movie theater, they just kind of get up. Now, some just sit there because they want to wait and see where the crowd is done, and then they can make their exit. Occasionally you get a weird person like me who actually will not only sit there for the credits, but if it's been an exceptional program, I'll even stand for them and wait till the very last one. And then I'll say a little, thank you for the program. I really enjoyed it. I talked to the people whose names are on the credits. Strange behavior indeed, isn't it? But let me just kind of share with you a little bit of what it's all about. I know what it's like in those kind of productions. That is, the stars get the stars, and the people who make the stars, nobody knows them, nobody knows who they are, nobody cares. And they're the ones who make it happen. I know that. I've been in that situation. I've worked with people who I had to make sure that when I gave my program, I made sure that not only did I mention the people who had made it possible, but I personally made a point of going to each and every one of them and thanking them for what they had done and how grateful I was for them. I am never going to skip the credits. Don't do that. A mark of class. Just think about that. Next time you're watching a very fine play or a video or a movie that you enjoy and the credits roll, just watch them. Don't skip the credits. And as I said, when it's a particularly great film, no, I don't do this all the time. I'm kind of weird. My wife says, when I say, I'm going to really be a little bit more eccentric when I'm older. And she says, Stan, there's no way you could be more eccentric. You are really weird a lot of times. And of course, that's right. That's correct. That's part of who I am. But I stand for the credits and wait till the very end. Just my kind of way of, in the universe, honoring those people who did all kinds of work to make that part of my life and that story and the enjoyment I had in seeing it and viewing it made it possible for me. So think about that. Watch the credits all the way through. You know what? Maybe that's a classy thing to do. Just an interesting idea. I'm Stan Houston. Okay, here we go again. A karaoke world. Now, as I've pointed out, I'm thinking about what it means to have class. And I've got some ideas about that. And tomorrow I'm going to tell you one of the most important ones. And it is just as I mentioned. There is great class in what I would call creative calmness. Creative calmness. We'll talk about that tomorrow. But now, it's a karaoke world. Now, what happened to me as I was going through getting ready for this, I happened to stumble across, and I've pointed this out to you, that in my many years of broadcasting and performance coaching, there is a whole bunch of stuff that I have written, produced. Most of it never hit the marketplace. It was shared in small groups or maybe just with a few people. But I have kept a lot of it and trying to discover which of it is worthwhile. And some of it's pretty good. And some of it is, I say, my goodness, that was really good. And some of it I just smile and say, well, I no longer think that way. Or that wasn't a very good idea. Well, I don't think I will talk about that anymore. But I found one that I did. Now, this is almost 20 years ago. And so please put it in the context, because I'm going to tell it to you just as I wrote it almost 20 years ago. But it really is kind of remarkably relevant to what we're going through today. It goes. It's a karaoke world. In a recent issue of The New Yorker, reporter John Seabrook wrote this about the present travails in the music industry and on the attempts of a music producer to take a young girl named Sherry and figure out how to make her a big star. Now, as you might expect, it's often not the music. What is it? It's the marketing. It turns out that marketing your performance is just as difficult for the aspiring star as it is for the business entrepreneur. Yeah, marketing. And in fact, we are going to try and get one book and podcast written called The Marketing Life, which will be the last word, at least for me, on marketing. Hopefully I can get that done next year or so. But the line that struck me was one where the producer expressed some self-doubt about Cherie's potential when he said, you know, perhaps she wasn't really a great artist. Maybe she was merely a great karaoke singer. And the audience would soon be able to tell the difference. But, on the other hand, maybe the entire current pop music scene is a karaoke world. Maybe the current pop scene is a karaoke world. The implication is that there is very little in that world that is original, and that everyone is merely copying everyone else. Think about that. Well, that struck me with deep reality, and of course it struck me again today. A few months ago, I heard a regional leader of the Federal Reserve Board said that he believed that most businesses were seeking to get through the current economic malaise, sound familiar? By just cutting costs. You know, I left the presentation shaking my head and discouraged. How original is that? I thought. To think that most businesses were not seeking new innovations, new marketing strategies, and enhancing the customer experience as their prime survive and thrive strategy, but merely copying established and often thoughtless cost-cutting strategies. To think that that's what they're going to do was not encouraging. I guess it often is truly a karaoke world. Nothing original, just copying somebody else and seeing if they can make that strategy fly, or maybe fool a few people, or maybe enough people to think they actually have something of value to offer. Well, here was my closing thought. Be different. Be unique. Sing a new song. The future belongs to the man and woman of traditional values, uncommon wisdom, and new ideas. Continually take time to read, think, write, speak, and seek out new ideas. Innovation and creative marketing is the hallmark of the creative artist, and indeed the successful entrepreneur. And then I have my closing line. Don't settle for a karaoke strategy with your life or your business. My daughter still goes after me when I told her about a book that I was going to write, and she said, Dad, I'm sure that would be better than most. But Dad, the world does not need that book. Dad, write the book that only you can write. Live the life that only you can live. Do the podcast that only you can do. Don't settle for being just karaoke. Be creative. Be original. Be unique. Sing a new song. That's real class. I'm Stan Houston. These are interesting ideas. "15 minutes and I'm done for the day," because you're busy. And I don't think that you need a long presentation. Those are just a few thoughts. I hope they're helpful to you. And I would love to hear some of your responses. Reach out to me at stanhouston@gmail.com. That's stanhouston@gmail.com. Please recommend me to others. Please give us great reviews on Apple if you think that will work out. And I would also be appreciative of you perhaps participating. Perhaps raise your hand and say, "Stan, I've got some interesting ideas I'd like to share," because this program is from me, but it's for you. And I want it to be increasingly about you so that we can all learn together and share interesting ideas. Being able to listen and pay attention and give full presence to other people and their ideas is a mark of true class. Best and blessings to you. We'll be back, but bye for now.